CFO Ned Siegel also let go with Twitter's policy head and general counsel. Musk later tweeting, "The bird is freed." The SEC confirming the deal and that Twitter is now part of X Holdings, Inc. Banks, including Morgan Stanley and Bank of America, agreed to provide the $13 billion in debt financing. Elon also secured $7 billion from private equity investors, including Larry Ellison, as well as a Saudi prince. Former President Trump, who some expect to return to the platform, celebrating.
We have seen Elon Musk transform companies that seem very unlikely to succeed into the biggest and most innovative companies in the world. One thing is for sure, Twitter is about to change everything, and it's going to impact you. Chamath Palihapitiya and David Sachs are two billionaires that have made their fortune from tech innovations. They discuss how Elon Musk is about to revolutionize payment systems using Twitter. Like Elon, be wise and invest in a channel that would give you great returns. Subscribe to this channel now, yes. Click the subscribe button, and you'll never miss out on great interviews like this.
My theory is simpler than this, which is they got great representation to do a very bulletproof deal, and it turns out that contract law still matters in the United States. And Elon did the right thing and just said, you know what, I'm going to own this thing and probably double or triple my money. So I'm just going to go and do it, and I'll do it for the benefit of everybody else. But my point is more that they and the board had the wherewithal to fight because, you know, that they could have easily gotten intimidated and capitulated. And in doing that, whether they were right or wrong or good or bad is irrelevant to me. They represented shareholder values well, and they got shareholders paid in a moment where the stock market is still down 20, 30, 40%, where big tech is down 50%. Some of these big tech companies are down 80%. These guys sold the company at a premium. And so that just, you know, we just have to acknowledge that that happened. That's all.
While most people are focused on the political and social implications of Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter, this is a takeover that would have huge impacts on cryptocurrencies and the world of finance. It was a business deal that was unusual, but with a lot of business potential. According to Brian Quinn, a professor of securities law at Boston College, Elon Musk gave Twitter shareholders something to smile about. It was a good deal for them. This was a time when all the big tech stocks were down, especially Facebook's Meta, which had gone down from $330 in January to $99 in October this year. Then we have Amazon, which started the year at about $167, now down to $103 in October. Even Microsoft had gone down from $330 to $235 in October too. Essentially, all big tech companies have been counting their losses this year, but Twitter is an exception. Because of this deal, Twitter shareholders are walking away with a payout of $54.20, which is the stock price at the time that the Twitter deal was done. It's not a huge payout for the stockholders, but they're not losing their money either. The stock price had stood at about $40 in January, so this is one of the very few companies that managed to turn a profit for its shareholders. Chamath thinks it was a good deal that the shareholders should be happy about. Next, David Sachs talks about the possibility of Twitter becoming a major payment system.
I mean, you could layer on a lot of services on top of that. So It's not just like one feature. Look, I think they're both compelling in terms of where they could lead. I think what's amazing about Elon as an entrepreneur is he always starts with a mission, and then he figures out how to turn it into a great product and a great business. So, for example, with SpaceX, the mission was to get to Mars to make life multiplanetary. You would think that'd be a spectacularly unprofitable business, but in the course of pursuing that mission, he figured out the launch business, and then the satellite business was Starlink, and I think Starlink's going to be a phenomenal business.
Phenomenal.
And likewise with Tesla, he started with the mission of moving the world to sustainable energy.
Yeah.
And in the process of doing that, he created the world's best car, not just the world's best electric car, but I just think it's the best car in the world. And Tesla is this amazing business today. It's so far ahead of every other car company. So look, I think what's cool about what Elon is doing is he's starting with this mission of restoring Twitter to being a free speech platform, of being the town square it was always meant to be. And in the process of doing that, he's going to figure out how to make Twitter into an even better product and into a great business, which is not today. I think Twitter's losing, a few $100 million a quarter. So there's work to do on all those fronts. But I think, it's really impressive to see. And, he's still operating at the top of his game. I mean, 20 years after PayPal, some of us are just doing a podcast.
Before the official takeover of Twitter by Elon Musk, Jane Machung, who has worked as a researcher for the company, hinted that Twitter was likely going to launch a crypto wallet. This is confirmed by Elon's previous statements on the matter. He had said it was going to be a sensible move for Twitter to have payments integrated into Twitter, so it's easy to send money back and forth, and for this payment system to support cryptocurrencies. There are a lot of speculations on how this would work, the features, and what cryptocurrencies would be used. The impact could be huge for cryptocurrencies, as we recall how Elon's adoption of Dogecoin had helped the cryptocurrency appreciate on several occasions in 2021, and the same for Bitcoin when adopted as a means of payment for Tesla earlier that year too. A big social media platform adopting cryptocurrencies could be a game changer. We have seen how rapidly Reddit's nascent NFT marketplace was adopted, and the platform quickly gaining about 3 million users by offering NFTs trading. If Twitter should go this route, we could be seeing a spike in the use of cryptocurrencies besides the current hold on for dear life, HODL, which is what most investors in the coin are doing. With increased utility, there would be increased adoption, and then there would be a price appreciation. Just as David Sachs says, we're not sure what Elon would do with the proposed payment system, but we can guess it would be as big as any of his other projects. We should point out that Elon Musk has a background in digital payment, as one of the founding members of PayPal, so he would be bringing a lot of experience in.
What's incredible on this chart is that, when everybody talks about being long the S&P 500, it was always really a proxy for being long Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Apple. And at the peak, in May of this year, it was still, 25 cents of every single dollar of the S&P 500 were these 5 companies. And, we always said the market bottom will be when the generals, quote unquote, get shot, to borrow a phrase from Gavin Baker. And it looks like the generals have been shot. Yeah. And what's incredible is this week, every single one of those companies, other than Apple really, reported pretty crappy earnings. They got totally taken to the woodshed. The percentage of these companies as a percentage of the S&P is now, off by 500 basis points. It's down to 20%. Yet the markets are ripping higher today. So I think it's kind of what we talked about 3 weeks ago. Like the bottom is kind of in for the short term, So it's really exciting actually to see. I think this is the point where you have to now start to get pretty constructive about where things are going. Because if this stuff could not bring the market down, it's hard to see something other than an exogenous event, probably some Russia-Ukraine event.
Remember, Jason, I said that we were going to have a double dip. That was that was the most likely thing. So we had this sort of mild technical recession based on nominal GDP growth not being bad, but simply not quite keeping up with the inflation rate.
Yeah.
Now things are a little bit better, but I still think the huge recession is to come next year because of all the interest rate increases we've seen. So the Fed is, pedal to the metal on interest rate increases, just like they were pedal to the metal on printing money. And so first they were too loose, and now they're probably being too tight too fast. So I think we're headed for a huge recession next year. And I think you're seeing that in the softness of all these forecasts.
Yeah.
But look at the mortgage rates right now. Something like 7.1% up.
For final predictions, Chamath is bullish about the markets at this point. He is of the opinion that we have bottomed and the market can only go up from here. On the other hand, David Sachs points to the fact that we have had a nominal GDP growth that is not keeping up with the inflation rate. This is only a recipe for a recession, and he thinks we should brace ourselves for a major recession next year. Who do you agree with? Let us have your opinion in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. It shows us you support our work and we appreciate it. See you again.